The stars were quiet that night. The Empire's Seventh Fleet moved slowly through the edge of an uncharted system, scanning for any signs of life. Commander Rail stood on the bridge, watching the endless black outside the window. Everything was calm. Too calm. Then something appeared on the radar, a signal, faint, slow, and strange. It wasn't moving like any ship they knew. No ID code, no communication. Just there. Is it a rock? Someone asked. Rail shook his head. No, it's moving. Like it's alive. The unknown object drifted between two moons, glowing softly in the darkness. The scanners couldn't get a clear reading. Metal, energy, nothing matched the database. It was cold, completely cold. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. Screens turned black for a few seconds. The crew shouted in confusion. Then everything came back online, but the radar was empty. The signal was gone. Rail stared at the screen. Where did it go? A voice from the window whispered, "Sir, look outside." There it was. A massive dark shape right in front of them. Silent. Still, like a mountain floating in space. The engines hummed softly as the Empire fleet stopped moving. Every eye on the bridge was fixed on that shadow. It didn't send any light. It didn't make any sound. But it was there, watching them. Commander Rail felt something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. He whispered, "That's no vessel we know." And at that moment, every ship in the fleet went quiet. The stars seemed to hold their breath. Something ancient had arrived, something that didn't belong to the Empire, or maybe to this galaxy at all. The Empire fleet floated in silence. Every sensor was focused on the strange vessel ahead, but the readings made no sense. No heat, no life signs, no movement. It was as if the ship was dead, yet somehow it was still there. Commander Rail ordered a scout drone to launch. The small probe glided toward the dark object, its camera sending a live feed back to the bridge. The crew leaned closer to the screens. For a few seconds, everything looked normal, just empty space. Then the shadow moved. Everyone froze. The object turned slowly, revealing its full shape. It was massive, much larger than any Empire warship. Its surface was smooth like black glass, reflecting faint starlight. Blue lines of light glowed across its body, forming strange patterns that shifted like living veins. "Is it some kind of new enemy ship?" the officer beside Rail asked. Before Rail could answer, the video feed cracked. The screen flashed static, and then went dark. The drone was gone. No explosion, no debris, just vanished. Alarms began to ring across the command deck. "Drone signal lost. Systems interference rising." One by one, parts of the fleet's power grid started flickering. Engines dimmed. Lights blinked. Communication channels filled with static. And then they heard it. A low hum, deep and steady, coming through the speakers. It wasn't a message. It was a pulse, slow and heavy, echoing through every system. Rail felt a chill run down his spine. "Shut it off," he shouted. But the hum didn't stop. It was inside their systems. Outside, the ghost vessel turned its glowing core toward them. For a moment, it seemed to look at the fleet, and then it began to move, straight toward them. The ghost vessel kept drifting closer, slow and silent, like a shadow sliding through space. The Empire fleet backed away, engines ready, but no one dared to fire. Commander Rail's hands were shaking as he stared at the strange ship on the screen. Nothing about it made sense. "Run a database check," he ordered quietly. "Search every old record." His officers worked fast. The system scanned thousands of years of Imperial history, battle reports, lost encounters, forgotten wars. Then suddenly one old file appeared. Its date, 998 years ago. The report spoke of a similar object seen long before the Empire ruled the stars. Back then, they called it a human warship. But humanity was extinct, or so everyone believed. Rail frowned. "That's impossible. Humans were wiped out centuries ago." The AI replied in a cold tone, "Design match, 94%. hull pattern identical to human origin fleet-class vessel. Whispers filled the room. Some officers laughed nervously, others went pale. Could this really be a human ship? How could it still exist? The ghost vessel stopped moving. For a moment, everything was still. Then a faint light blinked across its surface, like a signal. 3 flashes. Pause. 3 more. Is that a code? Someone whispered. Rail didn't answer. He recognized the pattern. It was an old distress signal once used by human fleets. But this didn't look like a ship in distress. It looked like a warning. Suddenly, the communication channel filled with static, and a broken voice echoed through the speakers, low, distorted, and human. This sector is under human protection. The bridge went silent. No one moved. Rail stared at the dark vessel and whispered, "Then, humanity never died." The message repeated again, slow and broken. This sector is under human protection. The words echoed through every ship in the Empire fleet. No one spoke. No one dared to breathe. Commander Rael stood frozen, his eyes locked on the dark vessel ahead. The ghost ship wasn't attacking, but it wasn't leaving either. It was waiting. Watching. Rael gave a quiet command. Open a response channel. Ask who they are. His officer tried to reply, but the communication panel sparked with static. The controls went dead. One after another, systems began to fail. Navigation, targeting, even life support flickered. The entire bridge shuddered as if the ship itself was afraid. Outside, the ghost vessel began to glow. Blue light spread across its surface like living fire, outlining its massive shape. It drifted slowly past the fleet, moving through space like fog. Every ship it passed lost power completely. Engines died, lights went out. Rail watched helplessly as his fleet, his pride, went silent. Dozens of ships now floated powerless, trapped in the cold vacuum of space. Then, as suddenly as it began, the ghost ship stopped. The lights dimmed again. For a moment, everything was quiet. Maybe it's over, someone whispered. But then a deep, low hum filled the air, coming from inside every Imperial ship. The sound wasn't mechanical. It felt alive. It vibrated through their bones, through the walls, through space itself. The ghost vessel turned its front toward the fleet again, its blue eyes, if they were eyes, glowing brighter. And just for a second, a faint shape appeared on its hull. A faded white symbol of Earth. Rail's blood ran cold. He whispered, "It is human." And that was when the ghost vessel spoke once more, clear this time. "Leave now, or be erased." The voice faded, but its echo stayed inside every mind on the bridge. No one moved. No one spoke. It was as if space itself had frozen. Commander Rail clenched his fists. "All ships, prepare to retreat." But before the order could be completed, the ghost vessel moved again. Its body shifted like mist, bending and reshaping, as if it wasn't made of metal at all. The blue light along its hull pulsed faster, heartbeat-like. Then came the surge. A wave of invisible energy blasted through space. Every Empire ship shook violently. Consoles sparked, crew members fell. The fleet system screamed with overload warnings. "Shields down." An officer shouted, "Engines failing." Another cried. Rail stared at the glowing monster ahead. "It's disabling us one by one." He could see smaller ships spinning out of control, drifting helplessly into the dark. Their lights flickered, then died completely. It wasn't an attack. It was power. The ghost ship didn't need weapons. Its presence alone was enough to break them. "Sir, we need to leave," his second officer begged. Rail hesitated. His pride as an Imperial commander screamed to fight. But deep down, something older, a feeling of instinct, told him to run. "Retreat," he said softly, then louder. "Retreat! All ships, fall back now." The order spread across the fleet. Engines roared to life as the surviving ships turned and fled. The ghost vessel didn't chase them. It simply hovered there, silent and bright, as if observing their fear. As the Empire fleet escaped into the stars, Rail looked back one last time. The dark ship remained still, alone in the void. For the first time in centuries, the Empire had run from something it couldn't understand. And deep inside Rail's heart, a single thought grew. Humanity has returned, and it's stronger than ever. Days passed, but the Empire fleet still hadn't recovered from what they had seen. The reports were confusing, the recordings corrupted, and the crews were silent. None of them spoke about the ghost vessel. None of them wanted to. Commander Rael sat alone in his cabin, replaying the last transmission over and over again. This sector is under human protection. That voice, cold, calm, and human, echoed in his head like a haunting melody. How could humanity, a species erased 1,000 years ago, still exist? On the Imperial capital world, panic spread through the High Council. The idea that humans had returned terrified them. If that ghost ship truly belonged to them, then humanity had become something far greater and far more dangerous than anyone imagined. The Empire declared the outer systems forbidden. They sent warnings across the stars. Do not enter human space. But rumors began to spread. Traders whispered of strange lights near dead planets. Patrol ships vanished without a trace. Some swore they saw ships of black glass gliding silently across the void. Back in the uncharted sector, far beyond the Empire's reach, the ghost vessel rested in orbit above a gray, lifeless world. Below the clouds, hidden in the shadows, a vast fleet slept, hundreds of similar ships waiting in silence. Inside the command core of the ghost vessel, a figure stood, human, breathing, alive. His eyes glowed faint blue as he looked out into the stars.